Hello, and what is up to the gamers? It's me. I'm the gamers. So this one, as you might be able to tell from that, is going to be a little bit of a struggle because, fun fact, I did not sleep last night. And the reason I did not sleep last night is actually, hold on. It is this book. There's a book called Wool by Hugh Howey, and contrary to what you might be thinking, it is not erotic Scottish fan fiction, but it is instead a pretty neat story about people living underground in what can only be a post-apocalyptic world, or what you take to be a post-apocalyptic world. And I started reading it yesterday in like the middle of the day, and then it was like 11 p.m. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to read a little bit before I go to bed, which was a terrible idea if you tend to, fixate a little bit, as I am wont to do. So that happened, and there was a point at like 3 in the morning when I was like 2/3 of the way through the book. And 3 in the morning is not too far gone. Like, even though that sounds like a little bit of an insane thing to say, I could have, it was 3 and I was like 2/3 of the way through the book, and I was like, you know what, I can either just cut it off here and go to bed, and I can get 7 hours of sleep and wake up at like 10 and nothing will be much different, or I can get to see how the book ends and I can keep reading. So it was a conscious decision. I was like, you know what, I have no responsibilities, courtesy of the labor market. Thank you, labor market. I might as well, indulge myself a little bit here, because that's not something that I've done in quite a long time. And sometimes it feels good to just completely abandon all semblance of being a functioning person with realistic bounds for yourself. And instead just be like, yeah, I'm just going to read the whole damn book, and I'm going to stay up all night, because who's going to stop me? And I enjoyed it. It was freeing in a way, I gotta tell you. But the book was pretty good. It was not the best book I've ever read, but it was a pretty compelling story. It had some twists. It had some turns. I'm probably going to read the second book. Not tonight. Tonight I'm going to sleep, hopefully. It's also like a kind of an insane tech, how much you can get done if you just simply don't sleep. So I read the whole book, then I finished it at like 5:30 in the morning, and I was sitting there and I was like, well, I'm not going to go to bed now, right? Like, that's just ridiculous. So instead what I did is I walked the dog for an hour, I went on a run, I shaved, I did my laundry. There was another thing I did, I think, that I'm forgetting. Can't have been that important. But the point is, I think this is maybe something nobody else has figured out yet. If you don't sleep, then you can get lots of stuff done with like no downsides. At least no downsides as of 8:48 a.m. on the day that you didn't sleep. I'm going to check in with me again in like 2 hours when I'm literally going to be comatose. But right now, we're riding high. I think that's kind of all I have for today. Other than to just say, I think it's really easy, and take all of this with a grain of salt, because this is very easy for me to do right now, and it's not really easy to do in the regular course of living the life of somebody who contributes to society, as degenerate as that might sound to you. Like contributing to society. I know, terrible stuff, but some people do it. I don't know. I'll never understand it. I've lost my train of thought. My train of thought was, in the course of living a regular life and contributing to society and so on, it becomes very easy to put yourself in boxes and to fall into similar routines and patterns that become inescapable to an extent. And one of those is sleeping. And I know I sound like I'm rambling here, but I think it's really good, really freeing, really enforcing of your own free will to sometimes break out of the bounds of those boxes. Perhaps not by staying up all night, but by just taking a ludicrous step outside of what you're doing day after day after day after day, just to remind yourself, like, hey, this is something I can do. I actually have a little bit of agency here, as opposed to just putting one foot in front of the other until I eventually keel over. So on that tremendously morbid note, I would say be a little different. I'm trying to be a little different. I'm trying to break out, as it were. Today's a breakout day.